We are live. Got no issues. We're good. Whew. Man, today was a busy day. I just rushed home because I'm like, yo, I need to get on this live. Can't disappoint, right? So we'll wait a couple minutes, see who's gonna join us tonight. You already know, apple juice in the building. What's happening, everybody? We got Blau Auto, we got Dead Channel Project X, Kyle Flanagan. What is up, everybody? Piling in the chat. Hustleholics Hangout. This is what we do. Justin, what's good, baby? Let's see. We got Fuway in the building. We got some hustleholics in here. We got some stuff to talk about. And it revolves around Walmart, Target, TJ Maxx, Marshalls, you know what I mean? Dead Channel says, I can finally sell on Amazon and I feel a little overwhelmed. Perfectly normal. You're going to feel that way until you get your... Let me get that. It's like hanging in the wind there. You're going to feel that way until you get into your own rhythm. You know what I'm saying? We got Jenny in the building. Jenny Gonzalez. What is up? Brian D'Souza. Who bought out all the Lego war machines for $9 this morning at Rain? By the time I got there, gone. No, actually wasn't me. I wasn't in Raynham today. I was in Walpole. All right, so while everybody's dumping into the chat, guys, if you don't already know, I go by Richie Hustles. I sell on Amazon, and every Friday night at 6 p.m. we meet on Hustle Street. All my hustleholics. We converse here. It's a good environment for people to ask questions about Amazon. We have a lot of interaction on Friday nights, and it's something that I can really say that I'm super proud of all the hustleholics out there. Shout out to everybody who's joined up as a member, whether you're a part of the Hustleholics game or part of the Hustleholics Premium. Thank you so much. If you haven't and you've been curious, definitely hit that subscribe button on the channel. And a free way to support my channel is to make sure you hit that thumbs up, so that way you can tell everybody that you're enjoying the hustle, that you're a hustleaholic for life. And I don't know, whatever else YouTube can tell me to tell you, there's like 9 other things, but you can figure them out, right? But most important, you know what we talk about here? Getting dinners. And that's what we do. And that's what we did today. We got dinners today. What I like to do is, if you have a question, it could be anything. It could be about Amazon. It could be about selling off Amazon. I could try to answer it to my best ability because I don't sell on eBay, but I do sell on Mercari and Facebook Marketplace. It could be just chit chat, right? Sometimes we shoot the ish on topics that are off topic. You know what I mean? Somebody asked me last week what the color of my wall was because I was like, you could ask me anything. Ask me what the color of my wall is. We already got Tony in the building. I see those dinners going across the screen. Dinners in money bags. That's what we do. So drop your questions in the chat. If you're new to the channel, thank you so much for being here. We got apple juice in the building. Hashtag drink apple juice. You know, before we get into it, so I said it to everybody, drop your questions down in the chat and I will get to them. I got a little story though to tell you. I said it on my Instagram a little bit, but today I was sourcing in Walmart and I was in the Walpole, Massachusetts location. And I went to the clearance aisle and, you know, I was videoing for my next upload, which is coming on Monday. And I was kind of like circling around the store and everything. And I came back, I said, let me do it, because I always like to check the clearance aisle twice. I look one time, and then I go around the store, I go to the toys, I go to electronics, I go to like the JoJo Siwa sneakers right now. I go to beauty, check the iHome mirrors there. I check and everything in between. And when I circled back to the clearance aisle, I actually bumped into somebody who recognized me. You know, I have the boss hat, my traditional sourcing outfit. You know, the boss hat, I got the skull scarf, And they were like, hey, they're like, yo, is your name Richie? And I was like, yes, it is. And they were like, oh man, we thought that was you. We watch you, we subscribe, we follow you, all that stuff, man. And they said they saw that I was out sourcing, making money, and that they wanted to come out and try it too. And they were sourcing clearance, and man, that made me so happy. The fact that a normal human being, right? I believe everybody's normal, right? But we talk about celebrities and people that let ish go to their head, right? But like me, like just a normal guy out there sourcing clearance, just trying to run a business, supporting a family, right? Everyday Joe, really, right? That you learned from watching what I do helps you create a either second form of income or possibly a full-time income, right? Whatever you're into. Depends. Everybody's situation is different. But the fact that that happened really resonated with me. And then what happened even more was that they asked for a picture. So I was like, okay, let's get clearance in the background. We took a picture. Clearance, hashtag clearance gang. And it was actually just a really fun experience. And, I don't want to say I'm used to it because I'm not used to it, right? But like in my prior life, I would DJ out in clubs. So it's been a while before people recognize it. It's just, it just goes to show you that, when you're doing good things and you're setting positive examples and you're putting it out into the universe, other people are attracted to positivity. And if it can make them a better life, a better income, then amen. I'm so glad to have that impact on some people. And honestly, that's what's really, really important. Like anybody can, not anybody can run a business, or else everybody would be running a business. But you can run a business, but it takes a certain level of like integrity to influence, right? Like you could do things, but not necessarily influence. But the fact that they were influenced, it just really touched me. You know what I mean? It was one of the first times I wasn't expecting it, and it really hit home. So if you're watching this, thank you. It was nice meeting you out in the field today. I actually didn't catch your name because I was caught off guard. But yeah, that was actually just pretty cool. So without further ado, let's get into tonight. I'm going to hit the computer here. We're going to go onto the chat. We got a lot of people dropping knowledge, dropping questions in the chat. Let's see, Project X says, so I am about 1 week into FBA. I am still learning the ropes. Hey, listen, it's not going to come overnight. Everybody, somebody had said to me, they said, oh, I'm gated. I feel discouraged. I'm gating it and everything. What the heck can I sell? And like my answer was like, look, we were all gated in everything. We didn't just sign up for Amazon and could sell whatever we wanted to. We were gated in everything, Let's get some apple juice in the chat. We were gated in everything. But over time, and over perseverance, and focusing on what we could sell, over time, don't forget, I'm going on year 3. I just got ungated in Nike and Adidas in December. Okay? Last month, I just got ungated in those brands. Before that, I was making it without those brands. Now, it helps me scale my business, right? But before Nike and Adidas, I don't need Nike and Adidas to run a business. I don't need those brands. I don't. It's nice to have them. I'm appreciative that I can sell them. But if Nike and Adidas, if Amazon said nobody can sell Nike and Adidas, then, my business would not end. It would still continue. Because I focus on what I can sell and that positive vibe, that positive energy. So glad you've started Project X Woodworking. Stay with it. And good things will happen. You know what I mean? Good things will happen. Guys, before I get to the next question, we got almost 70 people on the live. Let's see if we can get those likes up to 50. We want to get those likes up to 50 so we can send the algorithm way up into the universe, just like Dogecoin is going into the universe. This is not financial advice. I have very little Dogecoin. Shabby Love says, hey, Richie, my first time on YouTube Live. So happy I found you. Shabby Love, I am so happy that you are here on this channel. And glad you could join this live. If you have any questions, please drop them in the chat. I'm happy to answer them for you. Tony Piankowski says, hello, Richie from Pittsburgh, PA. Did you happen to go back and get all those Beyblades from listing I showed you? You know what? I did not. I did not. I had a little busy day today. I was planning on maybe visiting that same Walmart tomorrow. I don't think they're going to be gone. And I'll do like an Instagram live about going to pick them up. But I think I may pick them up and I might just stick them in the corner of my garage, list them on Macari, because or until I'm ungated, because I know I could get at least $30, $35 for those. And there was $7, man. So, you know, that was when I couldn't get by that. You know what I mean? On that last video, that was a tough one, you know? We got Victor Ayo. Ayo, Victory, what is up? Victory 0901. Justin says, just submitted my business application and I submitted my teller certificate. Awesome. I can't wait to hear about your success. Seller certificate. Okay, I figured you didn't mean teller. Flex in the building says, yo, what up, homie? What's up, Flex? Karen Jones from Washington State. I will not forget that. In the building. RG Slot wins the biggest and best MOD to hit live streaming in the building. What's up, RG? How you doing tonight? George Rivera says, dinners all day. George, you got to rewrite that. D-I-N-N-A-H. We say it with a Boston accent. You know what I mean? Boston accent. But thank you. Project X Woodwork, it says, I wanted to tell everyone now that Amazon will, in the beginning of your profits for 30 days, that just in case you have returns. Yeah. I mean, look. I just don't understand. So here's my gripe with that, right? I don't even think Amazon should hold your money for 7 days. Like when you sell an item right now, normal, okay? When you sell an item right now, Amazon holds your funds for 7 days from the time of the delivery of the item. So if somebody orders it on Monday and they receive it Wednesday, you get paid from that order 7 days from Wednesday. Now here's my thing. Amazon says, well, in case there's any issues, in case there's any returns, blah, 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 right? But check this out. Don't you have 90 days to return the item anyways? So what difference does it make? If it's 7 days, 30 days, 60 days, what difference does it make? The customer could return it on the 89th day, and Amazon would allow it. So I don't understand why they hold your funds like that. Maybe it's a capital thing. Maybe it's to show numbers on their books. Who knows? It is what it is, right? Let's see. I wanted to tell everyone. Okay, we already did that. Kevin. Hey, Richie. Always motivating, man. Hey, Kevin. Listen, thank you so much for joining us on this Friday evening. I'm really glad you're here. Jenny, this is always fun. Jenny, glad you're here. Listen, if you haven't checked out Jenny Gonzalez's YouTube channel, you need to head over there after this. Well, after this, because after this, I'm going on Buffalo Picker's show at 7:30. But then after that, you should check out Jenny Gonzalez's YouTube channel. We'll talk more about Buffalo Picker in a little bit. Tony Piankowski throwing out the dinners and the money bags. You got winner chicken dinner. Tony must have had a good day today. Alex, how are you? Currently hitting up Marshalls. That's what's up, Kevin. I actually hit up TJ Maxx today with Walmart. And I got a lot of dinners, especially TJ Maxx, like $3 dinners. $3. Like, it was crazy. Let's see. Kevin Zuniga in the building, making money, strong force. Four Oaks says, I found the Marvel Black Widow at Walmart for $2 and a bunch about $9. And now Amazon wants product compliance documents. Can't get them in as this is a Walmart exclusive. I am going to push on eBay. Okay. And to tell you the truth, I really don't know what the hell's going on with this whole compliance crap. It's kind of like BS. And it's almost like I don't know what Amazon's trying to do with this whole compliance thing, but it's really screwing people up. You know what I mean? And the only good thing is, let me just lower this light down a little bit. Can we get some light down a little bit? I'm just looking at my computer here. All right, cool. With the whole like compliance thing, man, like either Amazon is getting ready. So okay, so let's hop into Buffalo Picker because I watched his show with his last show, and then he was on eBay Addict show, and he made a really good point. Buffalo Picker was saying that, you know, he thinks that Amazon might close the window for third-party resellers to hop on Amazon. So if you were ever on the fence about selling on Amazon, you need to get on now. Because honestly, quite frankly, I agree with him. I think Amazon's looking for a way to try to shut the window for third-party resellers and create a real long waiting list. Is it going to happen? I don't know. I'm not Houdini, but it makes sense, right? Because how many... I think the statistic was, you know, like over 1,000 sellers a day apply to sell on Amazon. How many third-party resellers can you have before people start, you know, the bigger dogs stop maybe or whatever? But it just, you know, it made sense. So if you were thinking about selling on Amazon, you need to start and sign up now. Because I think, this is my own opinion, I'm in agreement with Buffalo Picker. I think Amazon is going to start shrinking the window to allow third-party resellers to get in. The requirements now, like I hear people have to jump on phone conferences and all that with Amazon. I didn't have to do that. Now I don't know if that's because I signed up with business credentials. I had a business and I submitted everything, so it wasn't required. I don't know. But what I do know is things are a lot different now to sell on Amazon than not, right? So, you know, if you're watching this and you're on the fence about Amazon, you got to sign up. You got to do it. What you don't want to happen is you don't want Amazon to say, hey, we have too many third-party resellers. We're going to put on a waiting list. We're going to cut it off for now, and we'll see what happens. I mean, I don't know if they'll ever do that, but it definitely makes sense. So tie it back. I think that's what's happening with those compliance things. They're making it harder to sell toys, right? Unless you have your toy tested in a lab. Who is gonna test? Who's testing these toys in laboratories for safety concerns before you sell it on Amazon? It's the biggest load of BS I've ever heard of, and I think it's just one way that they're trying to minimize the third-party seller effect, you know? But it's okay. You know, the bulk of our items aren't toys. I like toys, but you know, is what it is. Stay focused and just think about it, you know? Kyle, hashtag fill a cart gang today. Good for you, Kyle. Glad you were filling a cart. That's what's up. Cameron, why does BrickSeek never match up with their inventory? Cameron, listen, this is you could ask anybody in the chat. BrickSeek, I have a love-and-hate relationship with BrickSeek, and if I could choke BrickSeek, if BrickSeek was a person, I'd love to choke them out, right? Because they're always lying. They're always lying. But I don't think it's BrickSeek. And I say this all the time. I really think it's Walmart employees in Walmart not having their ish together. Promise you. Whenever I go to Lowe's for inventory through BrickSeek, I always find it. Whenever I go to Target, a lot of times I find it. When I go to Walmart, it's always an issue. Always an issue. And I can't figure out what the heck the deal is. I don't know why I think it's a Walmart issue, not really a BrickSeek issue. You know what I'm saying? You know, and even though I complain about BrickSeek all the time, I don't think there's anybody else that complains about BrickSeek more than me. For real. Look, I'm a no-nonsense reseller. I tell it like it is. I don't need to impress anybody. I don't need to you know what I mean? I don't work for nobody. I'm not sponsored by anybody. You know what I mean? I'm my own person, okay? BrickSeek and Walmart, I think, is just a load of BS. But people ask me, well, then why do you have the Extreme? Why do you have it? Why do you deal with it, right? Because honestly, I'm in multiple stores per day. I got asked a question. I got asked, hey, do you have the basic membership for BrickSeek, or do you have the premium or the Extreme? What do you have? And my answer is always, you know, up front. I'm like, I have the Extreme. They're like, well, do you think it's worth it because of this and that and the other thing? And honestly, for me, it is worth it. Sometimes I'm in, 5 to 10 Walmarts a day. If I start really early, I'm grinding all day. The next day I might go to 3 more. By the end of the week, I might have hit 30 Walmarts. 30 or a mix. 15 Walmarts, 5 Lowe's, 10 Targets for that week. For me, you bet your ass I made my money back. You know what I mean? On that $35 Extreme membership. Absolutely made my money back and then some, okay? But if you're going into even just one store a day, you're wasting your time and money because you're going to be more frustrated than not. There are some benefits to having the Extreme, like when you're narrowing it down to store area, when you can look at specific store inventory, right? But that's the thing. Like BrickSeek, there's 2 types of people that should be on BrickSeek. One is the extreme reseller that goes into multiple stores, like your boy, like so many other resellers, okay? That's when an Extreme membership is valid. The other is for people who just want deals. They want to shop deals. They're extreme couponing, right? They do all of that stuff, right? But I'm telling you right now, for the person that visits 1 to 5 Walmarts a week, I'm sorry, you're gonna be frustrated. That's just what it is. You know what I mean? It's not your fault. And honestly, I don't think it's BrickSeek's fault. I think it's Walmart's fault. Honest to God. It's not for the person that's gonna hit 1, 2, 3 Walmarts a week. You're gambling. You might find something, but I guarantee you're gonna be frustrated more than not frustrated. That's just how it is. Salud. Oh, we got over 100 people in the live. What is up, everybody? Make sure you smash that like button. Demolish it. Punch it multiple times, the like button. I appreciate you all being here. Look, I'm just going to repeat myself one time. We're almost halfway through the show and say, listen, I'm your boy Richie Hustles. I sell on Amazon. I might have some new subscribers that are joining this live for the first time. What we do is every Friday, we talk about Amazon. You ask questions in the chat. Every Friday, 6 p.m., this is where we meet. This is the Hustleholics Hangout, and I appreciate all of you that are joining on this live. Thank you so much to everybody. Hit that thumbs up. Show your boy some love. Let's keep moving. Best distributor to get invoices from for toys. Justin, so the best place I could recommend, something I talked about last week on my Friday live, and that's really to go through EE Distribution. And EE Distribution, this is public knowledge. A lot of people go through EE Distribution. This is a great place to start if you want to get invoices and get ungated in the toy category, or if you're looking to get ungated in brands such as Hasbro, Mattel, Barbie, Lego, other big name toy brands. EE Distribution, write it down because I'm not going to repeat it. That's going to be your best bet to get ungated in toys and or other big toy brands. EEDistribution.com. Ryan Keynes had just started selling on Amazon. Do you have any recommendations on what's some good items to sell right now that doesn't require approval? So Ryan, what I did was when I first started, I started selling books. I started my business with $8. I had a full-time job. I worked for a bank, and I started with $8. You know, I would go to the library next door on my lunch break, sacrifice eating to hustle, right? And that's what I would do. And then I started with $8. And I bought books because, you know, I really didn't have the time. When did I have the time? I didn't know what I was doing, right? I just kind of started out. So I was watching some videos on YouTube and decided to start with books. And I took $8, flipped it into 50, took 50, flipped it into 150, 150, flipped it into 400, so on and so on. You have the snowball effect, right? And then there was a point where you get to like scaling your business and you have to make choices. And like, as I made X amount of money, I would kind of start doing, you know, retail arbitrage into the brands that I could sell. But in the meantime, I was trying to get auto ungated. Every single day I would try sometimes 100 brands or 100 items just to see if I would get auto ungated. Every night when I was watching TV, I would sit on the couch, feet up. I talk about this all the time. Put my feet up and I would take my phone as I'm watching TV and I would go through the top sellers in toys. And I would say, oh, what's that brand? Oh, request, let me request it. Let me apply. All right, I didn't get approved. Next, I'll go to this brand. Let me try that one. Oh, okay, good. I got auto ungated. It's a crappy brand, but it's a start. And then the next brand, and then the next brand, and the next brand, and the next brand. That's all I did. That's all I did. I mean, I still do that. You know what I mean? There's still a ton of brands that I can't sell in. Like there's just some brands I just can't sell in yet. It's okay, you know? But I recommend anybody who's just starting to start in books because you're going to find books on the cheap, make the most ROI. Yeah, books are boring to sell, right? But once you see that money coming in, and then you take a piece of that money and start sprinkling it into RA, into low clearance items. Then you take that money into medium-sized clearance items. Then you take that money and get some big clearance items. Now you walk into stores, you don't even keep count of what you're gonna spend, right? Because like when you first start, you're like, all right, I can spend like $100. All right, I can spend like $500. But eventually you're gonna get to a point where you're just like, this is a great deal, this is a great deal, this is a great deal. Before you know it, you're spending $400 and you weren't even keeping track, and you go to the next store. And it's like a snowball effect, you know? How do you feel about the Lego Classic 2 Light Brick? I mean, honestly, it's been in stores for $9, and I've actually heard it in stores for $7 too. So, you know, I mean, I got a lot of, I think it's called the Lego, it's like a small yellow Lego thing that I already sent in to Amazon, but I like them as long as they're at the right price. You know, less than $9. Definitely less than $9. I heard Amazon is doing away with people selling toys. Is that true, Bob? You know, I don't know. That's the way it kind of seems because, like I said, what reseller is going to get lab tests on their toys? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know any. I mean, I'm not, right? Why would it's tough enough meeting those margins. Why would I pay to get, you know, those things? It's like it's crazy. Sent out my first batch this AM. Thank you. Great to hear, Karen. Great to hear you're going out there and sending those out. Let's see. Melissa says, I binge watch your videos and learn so much. So I decided to give this thing a try and went to TJ's today. I did pretty well. Thanks to you. Keep them coming. Hey, Melissa, I'm really glad that you were able to pull out some dinners at TJ's. I was actually at TJ Maxx earlier today in my neck of the woods to pull out those dinners. So salute to you. Let's see. Jared says, these restrictions are killing me. I'm brand new to Amazon and watch you sell the same products I'm restricted in. Some seriously frustrating moments in Walmart the last week or two. Look, Jared, this is what I would tell you, just to piggyback off of what I was just saying. It's not glamorous, but you can't worry about what you can't sell. You know what I'm saying? You can't worry about what you can't sell. Yeah, I know. Listen, there was times where I would watch Reezy. He was buying Nike and Adidas, and I was like, oh, man, he's stacking those carts with all these Nike and Adidas sneakers. He's got videos that are titled, I made $5,000 in 30 minutes, and this other one's selling toys over there, and all this crap that I can't sell. And, like, yeah, it weighs on you, but you have to focus on what you can sell, what you can sell. You have to. And if that means doing something you don't want to do, like sell books, because you need to increase your volume in sales so Amazon can trust you to auto-engate you in a lot of those toys, so then you could build capital and get invoices to sell other bigger brands, then that's what you have to do. You know what I mean? We all went through it. Trust me. We all went through it. Trust me. Let's see. Sorry, guys. I'm behind in the chat. Let's see. Oh, wow. I was really far behind in the chat. Hold on. Where was I? Wow, I was really far in the chat. Okay, Melissa, Jared. Okay. Colby in the building. What's up, Colby? Head to Walmart right now to see if I can grab some dinners. Let's go. Awesome. I wish you the best of luck. 126 people up in the live, guys. Thank you so much. Smash that like button. X out of the chat. Hit the like button. It definitely helps me with the algorithm. Do you do this full time? Michael, it sure feels like it. Sure feels like it. But believe it or not, I am still attached to a full-time job. That's all I can say. On a live. J-Wack in the building. Just picked up 80 Ryan's World toys for $7 each. Selling for $30 on Amazon. J-Wack, send them my way, brother. Send them my way. I'll send them in too. That's a great job, man. That's how you do it. Let's see. If you're driving restricted in toys, it's tough to see all the money in your face. Look, you guys will get past it. Don't dwell on it. Cody Sansbury, how are you? Struggling to find solid distributors to get invoices in. I hear you. Listen, I only work with, right now, including the trading card, I work with 2 trading card distributors that I just got this month. I got 1 comic book distributor, Diamond Distributors, the largest comic book distributor, right? But there's an end game for that. So I have that account because I do plan to open up a brick and mortar comic and collectible store. It is one of my future endeavors I'd love to do, and make sure I have enough space in the back, work out of the back, and get a warehouse eventually, because I'd like to enjoy life too. So I have that. I work with 1 household and grocery distributor, and then I have 1. So I work with about 4 or 5 distributors, really, that I order from. Tam Tam, how are you? Let's see what else we got here.
What is in that box? It's you. Your reputation.
Jenny, thank you so much. You're one awesome person. I appreciate that.
You don't get their business again.
Mamapreneur Hustle says, hello, Richie. Started watching your channel today. Thank you for your helpful videos. Mamapreneur, I appreciate you being here. Thank you for joining this Hustle Hangout or Hustleholic Hangout that we do every Friday. So, guys, this is what I'll tell you right now. So, RG says apple juice. Yeah, we're almost done with the apple juice. We should just finish the apple juice, right? Logan in the building. What's up, Logan? It's all good, brother. You're here. That's all that counts. Just got back from sourcing some dinners. That's awesome. Throwing dinners in the chat. Project X said I sold about 360 and really just broke even for the month. Yep, I've had those months. So what I would do, this is what I did. So when I first started, I would send things into Amazon, right? And things start going well, right? You're like, oh, wow, I doubled, tripled, quadrupled my money. What the heck, right? But then things don't go exactly as they're supposed to all the time. There's been months where I would just break even. When I would first start, I would just break even. And I'm like, I'm running out of capital. What do I do, right? So you know what I did? In order to scale my business, I hopped on and started doing deliveries with Uber Eats. And I did that every day for over a year. I did that every single day after work, Monday through Friday. On the weekends, I started 6, 7 a.m. and I came home at like 8, 9 at night, sometimes 10, 11. And that's how, and I took all that Uber Eats money and put it into my business until I didn't have to do that anymore, you know? And now it's been years and I haven't had to do that because now I just run my business. But you have to be creative on how to do it. And the cool thing about driving Uber Eats is as I was driving, I would go offline and I would run into TJ Maxx and I would buy some stuff because you would get paid and you could transfer that money onto like an Uber Eats debit card. So I would take the money at the end of the night and I would go into TJ Maxx and I would transfer to the card and I would buy stuff with the Uber Eats debit card that I was earning money on. And you just have to get creative and figure out, you know, what is it that you need to do? You know, some people can't drive at night, right? They have obligations and that's cool, but you got to figure it out. You know what I mean? I wish it would, but not Walmart. Colby throwing up the apple juice. We need the box drink, Colby. Let's see. Hi, Jenny. I have about 50 products at FBA, so now the money will start to come. Absolutely. Listen, Amazon is a volume game too. We got Bluff Auto. Here we go. L&L Unlimited. Thanks for showing your Walmart shopping experience. Absolutely. It's one of the most frequent places that I visit. So I appreciate you checking out those Walmart videos. Thank you, L&L. Because of you, I found some stuff. See, and that's what I'm talking about. That's what it's all about, right? I love people making side money, making full-time income, people finding deals. That's what it's about, you know? 102nd sub. I appreciate that. Thank you. Tam Tam says, no Walmart in UK. Tam Tam, what do you have? What's the equivalent to our Walmart in the UK? What kind of store is there in the UK that would be equivalent to a Walmart? Dead Channel says, how do I set up shipping templates for the best results? I mean, it depends on your location and where you're shipping to, really. That's kind of like discretionary. Wayne Trading Company, how you doing? Harry says, Iowa in the house. What is up? Kristen Esky, I found some of those Beyblades for $4. And there was like 15 of them. Think they would sell on Facebook? Thanks. I mean, if you sell them on Facebook, they're gonna be like, I'm sorry guys, my daughter's in the background crying. So on Facebook, it might be hard to push them like face to face like that, but you might have better luck pushing them on like eBay, on Macari. I've seen them listed on eBay for like $30, and that's not even with free shipping. You know what I mean? And I've seen some of the sold listings. Some of the sold listings are in the high 20s, so you definitely make your money back. You know what I mean? Unless you're ungated in on Amazon. RG said, that's awesome. Michael P. Well, have you considered making a Discord page? You know, I get asked that a lot. I definitely got asked that a lot. But what I did was I started memberships on this YouTube channel. So with memberships, when you sign up for a membership, you have the Hustleholics gang, which gets you the special emojis, certain perks for these lives. And we do 3 lives a week. We do a live on Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday. So you guys got my attention all weekend long, right? And Friday we do Q&As. Saturday is like fun time. Right now we're doing Pokemon box breaks, and we're checking out values of cards. It's really fun, something different, you know what I mean? And then on Sundays is my favorite day, because that's when I take everybody on a live journey on a actual sourcing trip. Generally, it's usually at Walmart. I am considering doing other locations like Dollar Tree and even back in Target. I don't think Target's right yet. I've been into one Target. It was okay. I filled my cart up. Okay, whatever. But I think we have to wait a little bit for Target. But I think this Sunday we're gonna go back to Walmart. But those are what I have. And when you sign up for Hustleholics Premium, on the community tab, I actually upload the products that I'm personally buying. I take pictures of the product. I give you a screenshot of what it's selling for on Amazon. I give you a screenshot of like what I'm buying it for on Walmart. And most importantly, I take a picture of the barcode. So that way you can see the barcode and see if it's available for that price in your Walmart or in a Walmart near you. So that's what I have with memberships. And if you were interested in that, it's pinned on the top of the chat. Michael P says, I'm in New York and it's almost impossible to source. Yeah, I don't know how it's like in New York. I mean, I could imagine it would go either one of two ways. One of which you're saying, maybe it's bad to source in New York, but maybe in some areas in New York, it would actually be good if people are afraid to go out, you know? Let's see. Tam says, do you watch YouTube Unsexy Person? I'm assuming you mean Super Unsexy. I do watch Super Unsexy. I enjoy his videos. I've been watching him for a while. Shout out Super Unsexy. I like that guy. He's a Massachusetts native where I live, and even though he lives out in Texas, he's from Massachusetts here. Yes, I agree. Walk the bitch. You're super friendly. Hooks me up again. Okay. I'm having issues finding Brickseek stuff actually in stock. Listen, Wiki, don't give up. You know what I mean? You'll get there. Let's see, Richie, it sounds like I am upset. I am not. I'm super excited to be an Amazon reseller. Awesome. Glad to hear that, Project X. Haha, I just read your shirt. Nice. Yes. Yes, we live on Hustle Street. So this is a custom shirt that I built, that I designed for the, I don't know if you can see it, but it's got the Hustleholics logo, the double H on the back. We're going to bring back a merch shop. We already have hustleholics.com. We have the domain and everything. And right now it's under construction. We're working on designs. This is one of the designs. Hustle Street, 123 Hustle Street. That's one of the t-shirts that's going to be available. Hoodies, long sleeves, all that stuff. But we're also going to get some that say, what's for dinner. We're going to have a bunch of merch. It's going to be pretty cool. It's going to be fun. I'm glad to do this venture. But we're not ready to open up that merch store yet. But when we do, it's going to be on hustleholics.com. Let's see. Tube Studios says, what's up, Rich? Oh, Tub Studios. What's up, Richie? Thank you for everything you do. Tub Studios, thank you for being here on this Friday night. Hit my first 1K payout this disbursement period. Big round of applause for Colby. Hitting that 1K payout. Look, can we get some? We need some money bags in the chat. Throw those money bags in the chat for Colby on that 1K disbursement. Take that 1K. Make sure it counts when you reinvest it. Wayne, he needs to sell us some hustle. Yeah, see? Street shirts, listen, the merch is coming. Let's get cheeky. The merch is coming. Kevin, as an Amazon seller, how different is it to sell on Mercari? So Mercari is definitely slower than it's definitely slower than selling on eBay. But Mercari, I like their structure better. I like their fee structure better. Mercari's very upfront. You know, it tells you at the time you list it, this is what you're listing it for. These are your fees. This is what it's going to cost for shipping. Unless the customer's paying for shipping. This is what it's going to be. And this is exactly what you're going to make. This is your payout when you sell at this price. So I like how upfront Mercari is. I just don't like Amazon. Sorry, you know? Mercari is more work. To a point, it doesn't have the volume that eBay does, but for me, you know, my main focus is Amazon. So to sell on Mercari, for me, I throw some stuff up there, you know? Can you explain the application process and how I am supposed to get a manufacturer statement with my name on it and their permission to sell their items? Harry, so there are two ways. I'm assuming you're talking about the application process of getting ungated in either a brand or a category. So there's two ways that you can do it. One is auto ungate. The second is submitting an invoice, okay? That invoice doesn't require you to necessarily get the permission of that brand, okay, to sell. That invoice is gonna come from a wholesale distributor or some kind of distributor that's selling you that product that you've bought in at least 10 units of that's gonna land on that invoice. So on that invoice, you're not getting permission from the brand. You have an account with an authorized wholesaler, distributor that's selling you that product, at least 10, because Amazon requires 10 of each product, 10 of each product. And sorry guys, my nose is like wicked itchy right now. And then what you're gonna do is you take that invoice and you're gonna submit it on the listing you're restricted in. When you request, it's gonna say you have to submit this, right? Because you could either submit an invoice or it says you can get a letter of approval. Look, 9.9% of resellers do not get permission from a brand. Okay, they get a invoice from an authorized distributor or a reseller, and that's what you submit to Amazon. Do you ever have to write a description or take pics for listings on Amazon? So, I mean, the only time I would recommend taking pictures is if you're shopping at like a place like TJ Maxx or Marshall's, okay? A lot of times when you buy items in Walmart or Target, the barcode is listed on the receipt of the item you purchased. So when you submit that receipt, Amazon can look at the barcode that's on the receipt and say, okay, that's that product. Cool. That's you bought it, right? But when you go into places like Ocean State Job Lot, Marshall's, TJ Maxx, Home Goods, they put their item number on the receipt, which matches the Marshall's or TJ Maxx tag, not the UPC. So the only way you'd be able to prove that you purchased that is if you took a picture of the item with the price tag in your receipt and you took a picture of it. Do I do that? No. Do I think new sellers should do that? It's a good practice, right? So if Amazon comes back and says, hey, we got an inauthentication claim, how, can you prove by submitting us a proof of purchase or something like that? I mean, you've done your due diligence and you have what you have, right? So, I mean, I think that's kind of. But if you're talking about, do I write a description or take a picture for, like new listings? I don't generally create new listings on Amazon. When you applied to be tax exempt at Target, did you apply as a reseller since they're not reseller friendly? So Cody, that's a good question. So I did not apply for anything reseller for Target. So when I shop at Target, I pay tax. Is what it is. I'm not sure what their policy is. Let's see. Wayne says could be it's already started. My son applied and it was denied a couple of weeks ago. I think Amazon is going to do away with third-party sellers. I have been seller for almost 5 years. I see the end. So, Four Oaks, what I would say is this. I don't think they're going to do away with third-party resellers. Without third-party resellers, they'd lose 80% of their business. Hands down. They would not be as big as they were if it wasn't for third-party resellers. What I do think is they're going to start restricting new third-party resellers about getting accounts. And, look, at the end of the day, I never want to see anybody put all their eggs in one basket. Okay? I never want to see anybody just selling on Amazon. That's your only stream of income. Just selling on eBay. Just operating a YouTube channel. Just doing this. I have multiple streams of income. If Amazon stopped tomorrow, it would be extremely hard. But there's a reason why I started up my YouTube channel, right? One, it was to document my journey. It was to document my journey about selling on Amazon, what I was getting, where I was going, things I was finding, things I was not finding, right? But also YouTube serves as almost like a backup. Now, the numbers, when you compare YouTube revenue compared to Amazon revenue, right now there's no comparison. You know what I mean? Amazon's, king ding-a-ling, you know what I mean? But there'll come a day where my YouTube will grow, right? And who knows what the future will bring. You know what I mean? I want to do different content. I want to make my channel strictly about hustling and all the different things you could do for hustling. That's why we do Pokemon cards. That's why right now we're doing box openings on Saturday night, because you could buy a box for $80, $100, and you can pull out one card that will pay for that entire box. You know what I mean? And then some. I pulled out a shiny Charizard V from, I believe it was for Chivrian's Path. I'm getting it back in the mail. We're going to open it up live. But, if that comes back at 10, that's a $1,200 card. You know what I mean? $1,200 card that I paid $130 for that box on eBay. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry, not $130 for that box. It was they were from trainer boxes, elite trainer boxes at Walmart. Vivid Voltage is what I was thinking of the booster box. But, even then some, crazy. Values are crazy. Yeah. If I could choke Brickseek. Honest to God, I'd take Brickseek, Brickseek. You know what I mean? When Brian said, when it's a huge chunk of their profit. Yeah, I think, and Brian's right. You know what I mean? I think it's almost 80% of their market share is third-party resellers. Amazon sells a lot, but let me tell you something. I swear, Amazon is not stupid. They analyze all of us third-party resellers, what we sell. You ever notice that when you sell a product, all of a sudden Amazon hops on it a month after it's been selling really good? Because they know it's selling good. Amazon goes out, they get it, and they hop on the listing and destroy the listing. And that's what they're doing with all these listings. They pull the data and the analytics from all of these sellers that are selling all these products. And that's how Amazon can hop on a listing and just crush everybody, Daryl says you only got one dinner today. It's okay, Daryl. One dinner today, let you get a dinner another day. It's getting harder and harder to ungain brands, even when all the right documents and photos. Yes, but that's why we focus on the brands we can sell. Salina, hey there. Your unofficial adopted sis here. Question. I've seen items like a toy being listed in the Amazon seller app as home garden and think someone is listing wrong, being shady. Look, I came across a toy today that was being listed in, I think the same thing, home kitchen or whatever it was, and I grabbed it, At the end of the day, Look at the analytics. Oh, it was a Lego set that was listed in video games. Look at the analytics. Does it sell? Because I'll tell you right now, there's 2 Tickle Me Elmos. There's one Tickle Me Elmo being sold in toys. And there's another Tickle Me Elmo selling in home. Both crushing it. Okay? You have to look at the data. Look at Keepa, and is it selling in that category? If it's selling in that category, you know, pull the trigger. Buy it. Nancy, I was scanning at Walmart and an Amazon seller came over and bought all the Beyblades. Said he was looking for a bunch. Well, I mean, Nancy, if you were looking for the Beyblades, you know, that's why I like to go to these Walmarts really early because nobody's there. You know what I mean? I love going early. Nobody's there. I can take my time, enjoy everything. Dead Channel says, how do I get my listings to be on the first page when someone searches something on Amazon? Look, Dead Channel, that's a little, that's above me. You know, there are people that focus on keywords and all that type of stuff. I'm not there yet. Listen, right now, I look at the data, I hustle hard, and you know, I'm not going to BS you and pretend like I know. I know that has to do with a lot of keywording and placement and all this other stuff. I just haven't explored that yet as far as getting on the first listing. But what I do know is that when I'm looking for an item, I make sure that the price is steady on Keepa. The average price has been great. The rank has been good. Amazon's barely on that listing. And let me tell you something else. Amazon can be on a listing. You don't have to be afraid of Amazon being on the listing. The only time I hop on a listing that Amazon is on, for instance, I see something for $5. I look, it's being sold for $35 on Amazon. I pull the data and I look at Keepa, and you have that orange, right? That orange C that like Amazon's been on this listing forever. So I go back and I check at the FBA sellers and see that Amazon is on the listing, but Amazon's the one selling this for $34.95. So you bet your butt I'm gonna hop on that listing with Amazon. Why wouldn't I? Amazon's selling for the premium but lowest price. I'm hopping on that listing. Now, could Amazon lower their price? Amazon can do whatever the hell they want. It's their platform, right? But in my experience, I list when Amazon's on the listing. A, if they're barely on the listing, meaning there's more white than orange when I look at the data. 2, if Amazon is on the listing all the time, if they're on the lowest but highest pricing, and I can still make a profit with Amazon. You know what I mean? I do that. It'll get taken down eventually. Yeah, I mean, listen, while I agree with you, Colby, I agree with you and don't agree with you. One, because, you know, that Tickle Me Elmo is still listed at home. You know what I mean? It's still there. So, I don't know. I think it only gets taken down if it for instance, like health and household. A lot of those items were listed in other categories to avoid Amazon detecting the multi-cleaner sprays and stuff like that. Stuff got taken down. But certain items, I think it would be just fine. For instance, I had to hop on that Tickle Me Elmo listing because I can't sell Sesame Street. I'm gated in Sesame Street. Not Hustle Street, but Sesame Street. So I had to sell the Tickle Me Elmo in the home category. Out of 3 Walmarts today, Brickseek had nothing, and 2 then paid for itself for 6 months in the last one. Brickseek is so annoying, but also so worth it. Logan, I share your pain. That shady seller's trying to get around restrictions. I mean, yes and no, right? But, you know, if you hop on that listing, what's going to happen to you? If the listing gets taken down, you'll get your inventory back. But like I said, a lot of times it makes sense that some of these, like, for instance, this, like the Lego that's listed in video games, it should be listed in toys. Now, I'm ungated in toys and Legos, right? But it sells in video games. It's been selling in video games. And I think partly the way they got away with that is because it has to do with the Mission Impossible and the Goonies Lego video game. Like, it has to do with a Lego video game. Do you know what I mean? It's not like a traditional Lego set. So I think that's how they get away with that. Because there's some kind of relative relationship there. You know what I'm saying? I signed up for an Amazon seller account on Tuesday and it was deactivated on yesterday. I never listed one item and no one at Amazon can tell me why. Wow, this and that. I don't know what to say. I don't know what their reason would be. Sometimes if information doesn't match up or whatnot, I'm not sure why they would do that. Let's see. Walmart's inventory is counted by RGIS like once a quarter, if that. Yeah. CJ Dewsbury in the building. How's the hustle? We're hustling. Is FBA better when starting off? I recommend FBA for any new reseller getting into the market. FBA is easy mode. You don't have to pack, plan, etc. Yeah, FBA is great because you source all your items, and what you do is you just send it all into Amazon, and Amazon takes care of the rest. Brandy Hodges, Hustleholics members, shouting out in the chat. We love Hustleholics, and Brandy, we love you. EE Fafunko, I love the shirt. Thank you, everybody. I don't have Amazon questions, but enjoy hearing you and getting tips. Appreciate that. Thank you. We got Caitlin hit her 3K month goal. Round of applause. We need money bags in the chat for Caitlin hitting that 3K goal. That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. Throw some money bags in the chat. Let's see. Nicole says, it's funny to me how many people in Facebook groups whine about BrickSeek like it's a magic wand. Look, I complain about BrickSeek all the time. I really do. I complain about BrickSeek all the time. But, you know, it is what it is. Like, I can't, there's nothing I can do about it. You know what I'm saying? There's just nothing I can do about it. So, you know, like the Serenity says, there's a Serenity prayer that says, I forget exactly how it goes. You can look it up. Let's see. Selena's people serving the get there. Sorry. Let's see. Sorry if I already asked. I was painting my mailbox. What if your items you sent to Amazon don't sell? How much do they charge to hold them until they do sell? David, so that information changes a lot, and that can be found on the Amazon seller website. What I do know is back when I first started, they started with short-term storage, and then they had long-term storage fees. Now, I think they only have long-term storage fees, and they give you a heads up. And usually twice a year, they give you 2 free opportunities to actually go in and recall your items so you do not get hit with those fees. And you can recall them free of charge. They only do this once or twice a year. Take advantage of that. Let's see. Where was I? Is my business an LLC? Would you say is good to change to an S Corp? So my business is an LLC. I am looking into an S Corp. I have to see if it will benefit me and my business in the end. Guys, we're gonna have to wrap this up soon. BrickSeek has actually been really helpful to me. That's great to hear, Caitlin. I'll tell you why, guys. 7:30, Buffalo Picker. Shout out Buffalo Picker. He's actually having me on his Friday night show, which is going to start at 7:30. I posted a link on my IG. If you just type in Buffalo Picker in the search bar on YouTube, you will find Buffalo Picker in the live. That's going to start at 7:30. Would love to see all of the Hustleholics jump over and support your boy over on Buffalo Pickers live at 7:30 tonight. Let's see. Spam alert. Yeah, I don't know what's all that. Find it. All these spams. So guys, spamming ain't gonna get your question answered. You know what I'm saying? Let's see when. Where are we? We got RG Slot Wins flexing on him. Where was it? Oh my god, I can't believe there's so much. I'm so backed up and I have to fly soon. When you plan to move to Florida in the future, first round on me. All right. Batman 75 cents now in many stores. Let's see if I scroll down to the bottom. Let's see, we're gonna put Richie, do you know how to find Transformers on clearance? If I've been looking, I could not find clearance. No, it's hard. It's hard to find Transformers on clearance. Those are one of the things that are definitely hard to find. Hi Richie, thank you for everything you do. We appreciate your hustle and sharing your knowledge. My question is, do you advertise? And if so, how much daily? That's from Roseanne. So Roseanne, sometimes I do. A lot of times I like to advertise if I'm the only seller on a listing. It just depends. If I do a daily, I don't do much. I don't advertise. I mean, it could be anywhere from 10 to 100 a day. Lately, I've just been doing $10 or $20 daily for like 3 to 5 days and see how that listing performs. Other than that, I don't advertise unless it's absolutely worth it. You know, when I have 800 or 1,000 of an item and I want to blow out, then I will advertise. And sorry if I don't get to everybody's question. Let's see. I don't even know where I was. I lost it. There's so many questions in here. And today I'm a little tied up because I have to hop on a Buffalo Picker show in about 25 minutes. But I sent them my first batches in because of you, hoping a company. Karen, that's awesome. Congratulations. Angela, first time here. Enjoy your tips in your live feed. This is my second year in RA. Trying to crush it. Scan, scan, scan. Auto one gate. Love it. That's it. That's all you got to do. Just got to hustle. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's about. So, this is what I'm going to say, guys. Background music is distracting. Okay. Cool. Thanks for being here. So, guys, this is what I'm going to tell you. Because I have to hop off this, but this is what I would say to you. If you have any more questions, there's a couple things that you can do. Hold on, says... we got Margarita Goros. Hi, Richie. My name is Lori. I'm on the one who's seen you today at Walmart. Great experience. Boyfriend is tagging you now on IG. That's awesome. So glad that I got to see you guys. Glad you guys said that hi and we got to take that picture of the clearance aisle. That was awesome. Shout out to Tony with that $5 super chat. Much appreciated. Drop shipping is against the Amazon to-dos, but now they had a news bulletin a few days ago stating the correct way. This means they are relaxing the talk. I mean, I have to look into that. I don't do any type of drop shifting on there, so I don't know. I have to look more into that. I just happened to see another question. Do you worry about getting your car broken into when you leave it full of stuff? No, I mean, I have tinted windows. You know what I mean? I have a pretty big truck. You know what I mean? Nobody's messing with your boy. How do I keep track of my inventory on hand? So I use the Amazon seller. I pull reports weekly, monthly. I see what's selling, what I'm out of. Staying in touch with your inventory is definitely a must. You definitely have to keep track of that. Guys, it's 7:05. This is what I'm going to tell you right now. I'm going to hop off here so I can use the restroom. I use the bathroom. I'm hopping on Buffalo Pickers live at 7:30. If you have questions or if I missed your question, please bring it over to Buffalo Pickers live at 7:30 and bring those questions and bring that energy. And I hope to see all the Hustleholics out there. Don't forget, like, share, subscribe. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. A lot of people watch, but don't subscribe. I'd love it if you subscribe. Definitely hit that bell notification so you know all the events that are going on. And look, it's 7:05. We're going to get off right now. We're going to use the restroom. We're gonna fill up more apple juice, and we're gonna join Buffalo Picker. We're gonna Flip to Pay the Bills and Glass City Pickers. They run a show. We're gonna talk more Amazon, more eBay. These guys are full of knowledge. So if you got questions about Amazon or eBay, you have some pretty experienced people. So I will see everybody over on Buffalo Pickers channel, 7:30. Let's go. Let's show them the Hustleholics Army. Let's get these dinners, baby. We live on Hustle Street. Never forget it. Peace out. I'll see you guys at 7:30. Thanks for being here.